Hey guys, and welcome to this video. So I want to first start this video by saying happy new year to you guys, because this is the first video that I'm uploading in 2023. So if you live in Nigeria or even Africa, then you must have heard about the new Nigerian Netflix series Far From Home. And no, I don't mean Spider-Man Far From Home, I mean this Far From Home. So the film generally is amazing. It has good actors and good visual storytelling, but apart from that, one thing actually caught my attention the most, and that is this very cool title animation at the end of each episode. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to recreate that exact title animation inside Adobe After Effects. So without further ado, let's get into the tutorial. Now, I actually first tried doing this inside Premiere Pro because I thought it was possible, but I was so wrong. It was actually quite difficult. I'm not saying it's not possible to actually do it. You can, but you're going to have a lot of limitations and discomfort while doing this, which is why I think After Effects is the best option to go if you want to recreate this kind of animation. Now, you can do this full 3D in softwares like Blender, Cinematography, or you can even make a full 3D animation inside Adobe After Effects. But I'm not going to be using 3D. I'm just going to use basic steps which everyone should know how to do inside After Effects. So let's jump into After Effects and create a new composition. Press Ctrl T on your keyboard for the text tool and type the first word, which is far. Then go to the properties to select a font. Now the original font is Avenir Next LT Pro. However, if you don't have the font, you can just go and download it for free from the internet or use a font that is closer to it. Also make sure to adjust the tracking of the text. So now do the same with the remaining words, which are from and home. When you're done with that, scale and position the text next to each other. For this, you might have to grab a screenshot of the original video to do this correctly. Now we need to change the colors of the text. So change the first two words to pure white, and the home should be yellowish. For the home, you can use the eyedropper tool to get the exact video you want, which is what I did. Okay, so now I want to get those black looking dots on each of the letters. So I went on the internet and I got pictures of this ink-like green dirt. After I did that, I brought it into After Effects and put it in the timeline. Now I want to make sure that the background of the picture is white, or else it's going to change the color of the text. But if you can't get one with a white background, then you can easily key out the color of the background. Put it under the last text layer and scale and position it within the word and set it to alpha matte. Also do the same for the second one. Now when you do the same thing for the third word, you notice that the color changes. That's because the background of the picture is white. Now to change this, apply the tint effect to the picture and change the white to the color of the effect. So now I'm starting to get into the hard part of it, and that's creating and animating those extra parts of the letters. There are six letters, which are the F in far, the F and R in from, and the H, M and E in home. So for this, we have to create and animate different shapes. Let's start with the first one. Make sure to zoom into the program monitor. Now select the rectangle tool and move the cursor to the bottom end of the letter and click and drag it to the other end of the letter and drag it down a little. Now again, you might want to grab a screenshot of this to get the precise size of the shape. Now use the same picture that you used for the words on the shape and adjust the position to get what you really want. Select the shape layer you just created and the picture and press Ctrl D to duplicate them. Now duplicate it again and position it to fit into the next letter. So now for the next letter, create another shape the same way you did for the previous letter, but the height should be the same or a bit longer. Now copy the tint from the home text to the shape. Now as you can see, we have to create another shape at the other side of this letter. So duplicate the last one that you created and position it to the other side of the letter and increase the height of the shape to be around the height of the R in from. When you're done with that, duplicate it and rotate it 360 degrees and move it up. Now just repeat this process for the next letter. For the last letter, it's basically the same thing, but you have to rotate it 90 degrees and position it properly and also make it longer. So now let's really get into it by animating each of these shapes. Let's start with the first one. Move the playhead forward a little, then open up the scale property and first of all click this button. Then click this stopwatch to create a keyframe. Now move the playhead forward and reduce the scale to the point where it doesn't show again. Move a few frames back to somewhere in the middle of the two keyframes and select the second shape layer and open up the scale property. Click that stopwatch again to create a keyframe. Then move the playhead to the end of the other animation and move some frames further and reduce the height until it doesn't show again. Now for the R, you can see that it increases before it goes up from the original video. So to do this, select the shape and in the timeline move to where the animation of the last letter starts and create a keyframe from the height.
Then move a few frames and increase the height of the shape.
Then move to the point the animation of the last letter finishes. Move some frames forward and reduce the height until it doesn't show. So to the next one, let's start with the first letter. So select the first shape, which is this. Move the playhead to where the animation of the previous letter starts and create a keyframe for the scale. Then move the playhead again where the animation of the F in from ends and reduce the scale. Now for the second shape, let it be the same animation as the R in from. Same thing for the third shape. For the next one, which is this, go to the starting of the animation and create a keyframe. Then move forward in the timeline and reduce the scale. Also do the same for the other part. And for the last animation, move in the timeline to somewhere around here and create a keyframe. Then move some frames after the end of the animation. Reduce the scale to this point. This is because the animation still continues after the video fades out. Now if you're not okay with the animation, you can add extra keyframes or apply time remapping. Okay, so now that we're done with the first part of the animation, which is obviously going to take your time, let's go into the second part of the animation, which is creating this zooming out transition. So select everything, pre-compose it, and select move all attributes into a new composition. Now to get the accurate animation, I'll advise you again to animate it frame by frame with the original video. Bring up the scale property of the pre-comp and scale it up, then create a keyframe. Move a couple of frames further and reduce the scale around here. Now move forward to where the animation almost finishes and reduce the scale again till it looks like this. Also make sure to ease the keyframes to make the animation smooth. Now when you're done with that, towards the end of the animation, go to the opacity and create a keyframe. Then move to the end of the animation and change the animation to 0 so that the video slowly fades out. So that's basically all there is to it. If you're still not satisfied, you can pre-compose everything again and apply time remapping or adjust the keyframes. Now this is going to take quite a lot of your time, but the results are actually quite nice. So that's it for creating this really cool title animation. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe below. And you can visit my website at www.salemstudios.weeblysites.com. So thank you all for watching this video and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Now if you want to know how to download free music without copyright for your YouTube videos, make sure to check this video right here and I will see you in the next video.